Hello everybody, and welcome to Day Job. I am your host, Code Marvelous, and today we're going to be doing a little bit of smoke. We're going to see what we can do with her. Let me just double check some of my settings here. Trying to fix up the white balance and things. I got a new key light, which is really exciting. Balder's on probation because he sliced me up last night. Part of the air conditioning unit like clicked while I was putting him in my lap when I was streaming last night, and he sliced up my arm, my legs pretty bad because it got scared. Nope, no desk. You can sit right there and I will pet the hell out of you. That's pretty nice, right? Some pets. Hope everybody had a great weekend. I had a really good weekend. Got to spend basically the entire weekend one-on-one with my daughter, which is really nice. You know, it's never quite the same. Like my wife and I, we co-parent, and like we're very much so both involved in Cassie's day-to-day activities. But when there's both parents involved, it's never quite the same as having, you know, time when only you and you're getting to enjoy getting excited and doing stuff just with your child by yourself. Morning, Ivan. Yeah, because like we went to the park, we went skateboarding, played a bunch of Mario Tennis. It's good. Alright, so while we're waiting, we'll take a look at the list. Oh, look at that. I summoned somebody. This is a bad hand. Very bad, actually. That's all better. Alright, let's draw. Let's just keep it moving and get set up. I don't like these Moosh and MTI decks. They're awful. And by awful, I mean that they're very good. They're just really frustrating. Because Mooshin was bad enough. Is this going to be like a pop finish? Oh, that's a really cool play. I like that. All right. Let's do a cold read on archives, see if they're willing to dedicate an ice to it. Alright. First breaker down, free of charge. I think that's an advanceable trap. Could be wrong. But who knows? Maybe it's a viral weaponization. That'd be pretty terrible. Nope, it was a trap. Oh man. Expose effects are gonna start getting good again if people keep doing this stuff. The worst part about MTI for the smoke matchup is I can't really run until I have access to all 3 breakers. So, like, in this situation, I just can't run, because if I hit a DNA tracker, I just lose outright. Like, it's so frustrating. That's really frustrating, eh? Because that's an NGO. I don't know. MTI is like the single identity keeping smoke out from coming back in the meta. Like, it's unreal how damaging MTI is to smoke, because I just can't run. Like, I have no ability to leverage until all my breakers are down. That's why initially when MTI was released, I was really angry about it, because like, I can't lose like huge chunks of my rig out of my hand early, or I just lose the game. So like, we're gonna lose this game without really having done anything. Alright, so now we're full rig, so we can actually play Netrunner now. Morning, Rotage. Let's hit HQ. Hey. Chill, buddy. Buddy. I feel like it's going to end up being way too little, way too late, unfortunately. So I want to wait until we have fresh cards, and then I want to try to close with a big indexing. How's the new lighting look? I think it looks pretty good. Unfortunately, we have to go check that, so that's what we're gonna do. This could be it, kids. I actually have a key light, so I'm actually being front lit instead of having like the shadows all over my face. The best part is we know that's in there. Well, now it's not. Now it's in HQ. So what we're going to do this turn, we should have 5 clicks. So we're going to piece in our time, and we're going to pull the agendas. Alright, let's hit HQ. That's game. That late game smoke, once we do get set up, we've got a lot of power. No, I have hunting grounds. I mean, regardless. Yeah, I could have used it on Kamainu. That went pretty well at the end there. Hey, just a reminder, today or tomorrow, if you want to get in on like the $5 level on Patreon, or if you want to throw in a sub, especially if you got that free Amazon sub, now's a good time. Help support the channel. I'm gonna end up probably spending a couple $100 extra on my World's trip to pay for actually having high quality data, so every little bit helps. Alright, so we're gonna keep this hand even though normally I never would, because we actually have 2 breakers in our opening hand. We're gonna try going against my better judgment. Alright, let's draw. Let's use that. Let's draw again. Film critic down. It's gonna be good. Patience and go for the lock, right? That's what we're doing. Let's see what the brighter... It's got different warmth settings. It's nice. I just can't look directly at my camera anymore, otherwise I go blind. Like my pupils are like pinpoints right now. Alright, we gotta deal with that. See, but I can't deal with that because I don't have the ability to deal with any ice. Alright. Oh, so frustrating. Don't commit an ice to it. Don't commit an ice to it. Just let me have the run. So now I'm gonna have to lose Switchblade in order to do this, or I just lose the game outright. So that's great. Because they waited until they knew that I was going to use Cold Read to put an ice down, but I have the ability to wait until they tell me whether or not they're going to put an ice down. I don't know how we win this game now, because we're going to lose Cortex Lock. So, good game. We gotta basically fill up our memory for Cortex Lock, and we've got to get at minute 5 for Anansi now. Until we have the ability to set that up, we can't run. Because we can't afford to lose any more breakers, or we just lose the game. Really frustrating. I'm gonna do one more game after this. Hopefully we won't get another red tree. Yeah, I think that's our only... Yeah, we can't interact with any assets now. Not until all of our breakers are down. Like, I wish I could have just eliminate this one ID, because this one ID makes Smoke basically blank in the current meta. Everybody else is not a problem right now. In fact, she has very favorable matchups against most people playing the Surveyor. But I can't play her if I can have my hand cleared by a surprise Anansi, whereas Anarch, that tutors their breakers for them, is getting hit by net damage. The only people that get punished by having their cards trashed is Shaper. Whatever. It doesn't need help. It needs to actually just like be able to play its own cards. Shaper has, like, I don't know. This is something that I feel very strongly about. Everybody wanted all these Shaper cards to go on the MWL because it wasn't fun to play against a Shaper control list, but I don't understand how it's more fun to play against a Val that just has a turntable, an Amakua, and a Zero installed. Like, at least when people were playing against Control Shaper, they actually had to pilot to that control point. And the biggest thing is everything that's supposed to be a negative for the thing that's supposed to be a negative for anarchs, or for every runner, which is that, like, you lose cards and that's bad for you. It's just not a bad thing for anarch at all. I don't know. I think Red Tree is a really good identity. I think it becomes a little warped in situations like this, where you play it as an acid spam ID, because it's like there's an ice on any of these assets without them actually having to, like, make the tempo decisions and resource allocation decisions to put ice on any of those cards. So they only have to defend them if they're threatened, which is really warping when the negatives of assets is supposed to be that they're hard to protect because you don't have enough ice to go around. I might have to switch back to Divey on this deck just so I have a more universalist breaker that will help me fight the Red Tree a little bit better. Right. Hostile infrastructure. Exciting. Yeah, I mean, Rotage, I think that all Shaper needs is either for Aesop's or Magnum Opus to come off of the MWL so that they have a source of money and another card. Because right now they don't have money and other good cards. Like Rumor Mill is becoming better, but like Rumor Mill being the primary Anarch restricted card is a joke. Like Anarchs have every single card that's good for their faction, and Shapers get to have one. Go ahead and res it. Hopefully this is like a medical breakthrough. Something we can hold on the Film Critic. Vile weaponization, that's also a good one to get rid of. I will steal that, thank you. What a good friendo you are. Yeah, we'll use no one home to avoid that damage. Alright. If ever there was a time to index, that time is now. So that is what we are going to do. Let us index. I don't think they're on like obacadas and stuff, so... Whatever. Fire it. Go ahead and fire it. So... Let's go back in and get that. Put the medical breakthrough on the film critic. And then we're going to go back into HQ. Or then we're going to go into HQ. And let's hit HQ. That's what I'm talking about. How many indexings have we lost? Just one. That's really good. So the nice thing is that Rashida basically breaks our indexing. Alright. So I think here's what we are going to need to do. I think we need to check these cards. Good game. Oh man. I complained a lot, but that's 2 games that we won against MTI, even with all their shenanigans. So maybe maybe I doth complain too much. It's just frustrating when you play against one type of deck over and over again. Because they, I don't know. I think they were worried about a clot. This seems good. We'll keep. Alright, let me get back to a normal zoom level. This misdirection. Now we have to be careful because they could be on the snare version, which would be, survey says, very bad. Alright, so let's go ahead and do that. Let's draw. Let's hit R&D once while we have a credit advantage. And then let's get Beth down. That wasn't very nice of them. We'll have a setup turn. I have a feeling that's like a hostile. That down early is very good for us. Let's get the dummy box down. I have a strange feeling that that's actually going to come up this turn. I don't believe they have anything that Film Critic interacts with meaningfully. Okay, so I think we're going to draw once. We're going to gamble Shirley. We're going to cold read Archives. There's an Armed Intimidation in there. Hopefully they're not on Hunter Seeker. That would really suck. Luckily, we can prevent the trashing of it. With Misdirection, which feels terrible, but dummy box doing work. Okay, so oh. Valder, your card's here. Your Black Cat card is in play. Alright, I believe based on what we've seen of the type of deck that they're playing, we now have them on like a hard hold. As long as we maintain our money advantage. Yeah, that'll really clinch it right there. Now that we have all three breaker types down, we basically have a hard lock. We'll hold the deuces wild in case we do get hit by a hard-hitting news. Losing Misdirection to save Switchblade stunk, but I believe it was 100% the right decision. Now we're going to start poking centrals. I don't know, smoke is good, for me at least, but it's just stressful. Okay. So I think we just win here, right? I mean, if he's depending on Hunter Seeker to, if he's dependent upon Hunter Seeker for, to destroy a breaker to create some sort of lockout, once I avoid the first one and I know it's there and I get Foam Critic down with my breakers, especially as stealth, they're going to be very hard pressed to make me lose my stuff. All right, I got to get heading into work, but thank you everybody for taking time out of your money to come out. Sorry I complain so much during the Red Tree matchups. I just get frustrated trying to test smoke. I need to do more coordinated matchups where like I speak to people and I set up like a gauntlet where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do a Red Tree, and then I'm gonna do an Argus, and then I'm gonna do a Sports Ball, then I'm gonna do this. Because what ends up happening with JNet Roulette is unbeknownst to the people I'm playing against, they end up giving me the same matchup over and over and over again, because it's what a deck that just got published on Netrunner DB or what have you. And I end up getting really frustrated because I'm generating the same content over and over and over again. But anyway, we did get 3 wins this morning, so that's not nothing. With my just nice flexible smoke deck. No One Home is truly an inspired card against like C-Source or SIU or hard-hitting news, because it says, well, you have to beat me on the first trace, and then after that trace you have to beat me on this whole other trace. It's really good. But anyway, I love everybody, and until I see you tomorrow, always be running.